Sometimes you just gotta make them bite. There he is. Look at that. Great big one.
This spot's gotta have fish. I got him. Good one, boy. Good one.
There we go. There, Chop. Nice fish.
That did not take
In fishing, being a control freak, meaning a boat control freak, is a good thing. It means positioning your boat in the right place at the right time to give fish plenty of opportunity to respond to your lures or baits.
There it is. There you go. Oh, it's fun trying to get them out of there.
How you fish and what you fish for often dictates the most effective manner to maneuver your boat.
30 feet of water. A nice squeeze. Oh, yeah. Not sure. Oh, yeah.
Bass fishermen, for example, are primarily casters. Most bass enthusiasts fish from the bow of the boat, using a stealthy foot-control bow-mount motor for instant steering response and thrust adjustment to remain within effective casting range of their targets.
Yeah, I saw you. There you go.
There he is.
Nice fish, James. Big bass.
Not too close, not too far away, but just right. Walleye anglers, on the other hand, tend to be versatile trollers, maneuvering and controlling their boats through some combination of back trolling, front trolling, controlled drifting, hovering, or even anchoring, often using more than one boat control technique during the day.
We have the front electric we were using half the day, the wind picked up. We started using the kicker, and then the wind really picked up. Now I got the option of the big engine.
Fishing is a two-stage process, where you maneuver the boat and the resulting boat movement positions your lines, lures, and baits. Today, on The Edge, we employ precision live bait rigging tactics for deep water walleyes, tempting bites from finicky fish lurking below the boat.
I'm pulling her off the break. Yep. That ain't sticky bottom. That's a big walleye at all.
Then we head shallow to extract largemouth bass from thick cover, where pinpoint casting is essential to fishing success. In each case, we choose and use the proper equipment to maximize efficiency and put more fish in the boat.
Beautiful fish.
If you can't control your boat, you're out of the fish zone. But armed with the proper form of boat control, you're on target and on the fish.
So it all becomes relative to the way you fish, where you fish, and how you like to fish.
Closed captioning provided by Fishoflage. Walleye anglers are masters of boat control. They back troll, forward troll, drift, anchor, cast the shallows, and strain the depths. They're as versatile as the fish they pursue and come to the lake prepared to do battle using whatever tactics in whichever direction that walleyes demand.
Bait should just about be in those fish right now. I went over a whole bunch of them sitting right in there.
Yeah. I couldn't tell if it was sticky bottom or not.
I'm pulling her off the break. Yep. That ain't sticky bottom.
That
That's
ain't
a big
sticky
walleye.
bottom at all.
Sticky bottom.
Sticky bottom.
I don't sticky bottom.
Oh, we're gonna need a net on this guy out.
Are you?
Yep.
Why? I had a whole bunch of fish on there. I don't know why I have the nut sitting by my feet. That must be a good omen, right? Oh, it's just a nice one.
Yep.
Just a nice one, Dano.
Cracked it good though. Oh, you got your rod. You got one going?
Yeah, it looked like it. Yeah, I do.
Here, I'll give you the net.
Hang on.
That's what you're talking about.
Oh, I got mine.
Gotta get him out.
Yeah, I got mine too.
Oh. Excellent.
I laid my rod down with the rig and
Okay.
the big question is mine bigger than yours?
I think it is. This is a nice one, but
Oh, DX. It feels pretty good. I don't think it's a giant. No, it's a nice one.
you're gonna need
It's like the one you got there. Look at him. The big old belly flapping down there. You got a net for me, buddy? You got a net, huh?
Yep.
Did you get rid of it? Did you get
Yeah,
rid
I
of
gotta dump
yours?
mine out. Tournament boy.
All
There
right.
we go, Netsy.
Okay, there. She's hooked right on the end of
Got
her.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
she wasn't hooked that good. Look at that. Oh, well, maybe she is. It was skin hooked, but it was in the good area, huh? A good area. You know, over the years, we've been fortunate enough to fish with some of the best walleye anglers in the world on a number of the best tournaments on some of the best water at excellent times. And one thing always stands out. These really, really good fishermen, no matter if they're pulling spinners, if they're pulling boards, if they're live bait rigging, if they're lead coring, their boat control is absolutely perfect.
Bass anglers use their big outboards to rapidly move between spots. Once they arrive, they basically fish atop a platform, using a bow mount trolling motor to create a succession of high percentage casting positions. They literally hold the depth and speed control in the palm of their hand, manually establishing a productive combination of lure style and retrieve to contact and trigger bass into striking.
Got him again. Nutterfish. Oh, Ronald's Rainy Lake, here I come for a tournament.
Walleye anglers, by comparison, essentially use boat movement to drag one or more lines through the water at the depth level of the fish. They must not only be on target as they pass above the fish, but also bring their lures or baits through the fish zone at the correct speed to elicit strikes or bites.
Got him? Okay.
Here we go. Here we go.
Got him?
And they need to do this in conditions ranging from dead calm to howling gale winds and everything in between.
There we go.
Oh! You talk about doing it right.
The use of different gas and electric motors enables walleye anglers to adapt to a wide range of wind conditions, simultaneously presenting different lure styles within their productive speed ranges.
Think about this. You're going out bass fishing, and you're going to have 4 different presentations. What does that mean? You may have 4 different rods rigged, right? When you watch these walleye pros go out and fish, I've seen it where they'll start out in the morning trolling with their big motor, lead core, and boards. After a couple hours, they'll go up and flip cane beds with their front troll motor. After a couple more hours of that, they'll go out and rig deep with their transom mounted trolling motor. Sure enough, tournament, wind picks up. These guys will flip out their drift sock and control drift down these breaks. It's just amazing watching these guys adapt.
I got
You got a fish?
It's a little guy. That's a little one. Maybe it ain't that little. I'm not sure, Dan. You came right over that batch, right on top of that batch. It's not a bad fish. I got the net here, Dan. I can do it.
You're on your own.
Not a bad fish. There's a few of them off of this corner. You know, we're rigging this particular spot. Dan just had that other fish, and then he just immediately turned around and came back through it again. Oh, that's a little better than I thought. I got her here, though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, nice one.
What were you talking about?
Well, yeah,
He was deceiving you, wasn't he?
yeah, he was.
Playing
Yeah, he
possum.
was. You know, most walleye anglers in the upper Midwest know the advantage of having a trolling motor on the bow or on the transom. Right now, Danny on this spot is running the transom mount trolling motor. Like I said, we're live bait rigging. Oh, let me
You need
see.
pliers?
I'm not sure. I got. No. I got him hooked really.
Boy, that's a nice fish. man.
Yeah, a little bit skinny, but not bad. And when you're fishing precision control for walleyes, when you got to be really precise, that vantage off of the back of the boat is the way to go. You know, we don't have any wind, so you're not using a big motor or anything. You want to hover over these fish and let the live bait do its deal. Look at that, that's a good one. A little bit skinny, but a good one. So I mean, the transom mount trolling motor, to me, is just as important of a tool as the bow mount trolling motor. And we use that in calm days when you want to sit and hover right over fish. We got about a 50-foot section of fish here, and we keep going back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, this unit is tight, man. You can stay right on the structure. I mean, it's amazing with this with the turning radius on this thing. I can dial right into every nook and cranny on this thing. You'll see little cuts inside of the point, and you can just carve it out like a knife.
I was going through too many of them here, Dan, not to get this. You know, this is another one of those. Oh, giants.
I got one.
Huh? Oh, man, how I love it. How sweet it is. You know, fishing, precision fishing like this, I'd like to stop one time and know how many hours I've dragged live bait rigs for walleyes. Live bait rigging, which is actually precision fishing at its best. You know, when you get on deep structures like this and you got to catch walleyes, it's tough to beat live bait rigging or vertical jigging, which is another option. You know, when they spread out, it's a different story. But every one of these tools of the trade, I said it and I'm going to say it again, has a time and a place. And some bodies of water, you know, like if you fish the Great Lakes, you know, the majority of the time, except spring of the year, you're going to want to be using your big motor or your kicker motor because you're going to be doing a lot of board fishing, a lot of lead core fishing, stuff like that. If you live on a 200-acre stocked walleye lake, you know, you can have a 17-foot Lund with a 40 Merc on it and have a motor on the back and back troll with that and catch all the walleyes you need. So it all becomes relative to the way you fish, where you fish, and how you like to fish.
Hey, for more detailed information or to purchase any products you've seen on this show, go to lindermedia.com.
Just about on the spot. You know, one important aspect of angling that a lot of people don't take into consideration is boat control. Right now I'm fishing with my father, and what we're going to do is look at boat control strategies for bass. And I can guarantee you one thing, good boat control can make or break a day of fishing. You know, any bass angler worth their salt fishes with this type of trolling motor. This is a Minn Kota Fortrex 36-volt system with a cable drive or foot control cable drive. And why bass anglers like this, it is an instantaneous response. Actually, once you get used to it and your foot positioned on the foot pedal, it becomes almost an extension of your body. If I want to go forward, right, left, backward, I can move the boat in any direction without looking at the trolling motor. And that's a big thing in bass fishing because so many of the times what you're doing is you're actually casting at cover. We're fishing around wood. We might be fishing weeds, lily pads, bulrushes. And you don't have to look at the trolling motor to decide what direction you go into.
You'll notice when Jimmy pulled in here, he positioned himself into the wind. Whoop, that might have been a fish. He positioned himself to go directly into the wind. In this way, he can use the wind as an aid in positioning. If he wants to slow down, he just removes his foot off the troll motor, and the wind will either hold him in place or even push him back depending on what he wants to do. If you're going with the wind, and when the wind is really blowing, it can throw you off track. So whenever possible, you try to work into the wind.
Today it's early fall and we are doing what we normally do to clear or eliminate water. We will drop the front troll and power fish. We are generally fishing 8 foot of water or less, trying to establish if the fish are up, and if so, how big are they. In fall like this, we will start on the biggest flats adjacent to big main lake drains, where the fish will eventually winter at. Today we've caught a number of fish up shallow on a variety of baits, but none were the size or the schools we're looking for.
The right green.
Yep, not a biggie. You know, one thing, right now we're fishing a really extensive flat. The flat actually goes out for almost probably a block and a half. And when you look at boat control for flats like this, there's a couple of different tactics that you could use depending on the baits you're fishing. You could actually zigzag, and what I mean by zigzag is you can zigzag from deep water to the back of the flats like this over the flat. The other system that we use a lot is we'll get on a specific depth path. We'll take a 4-foot path, then we'll drop out to the next level, maybe the 8-foot path, and make another one, and then step out the next path, might be 10 or 12. But what you're trying to do is just initially sort of get tuned into the depth that the fish are really keyed in on a big flat like this. You know, we covered quite a few different types of spots. We've actually fished, about 5 different flats, a couple of different inside corners, but we're gonna move out to another spot. Probably what we're gonna do is start focusing on deep water points. Right now it's actually transitional fall period right now. Water temperatures, 50 degrees. The water temperatures dropped maybe, 7, 8 degrees over the last week and a half. That could really dictate where the fish are moving to, and maybe they're actually starting to gather out on these deep water structures. But we'll just sort of keep on working the program.
Lure selection is a big part of bass fishing boat control. Every lure you select out of your tackle box has an optimum speed and depth where they work best. High-speed search baits enable anglers to quickly cover lots of water to identify fish holding patterns.
I don't know what it is.
Big one. That's a big boy there.
Yeah.
Bottom bouncing baits in heavy cover fishing situations force anglers to move slower, where you intermittently stop the boat and pick apart high percentage spots with accurate cast placement.
There's one. Look at that guy there. That's a real whopper there.
When it comes to deep water structure fishing, map, depth finder, side finder combination units like my Hummingbird are incredible tools to find fish fast. On any underwater structure, the bass have the tendency to gather on very specific spots, like an inside corner, the tip of a point, or a rock pile. High-resolution maps really speed up the process to find fish. Once you've isolated a fish-holding area, boat control becomes far more refined, where you hold the boat in a fixed position and fan cast.
Boy, that shows you something in short order. It's interesting, you know what I mean, where all of a sudden we pulled up and you get out on the first primary point and you catch Mr. Bronco Billy here. That's sort of a good inkling that something's going on out in deeper water. You know, oh, beautiful bass. Look at that thing. Gorgeous fish.
What was that on, James? I was busy.
That was holding about 12, 13 foot of water.
And throwing what?
Terminator jig, 1/2 ounce with the Trigger X craw. It's one thing where we're at right now, as we were talking, we're in the fall transitional period, but one thing that we're in sort of a really critical spot. This is a big point right in back here. It's a big shallow water bay, so any of the fish draining out of those flats, this is a really good natural drain for those fish to set up on throughout the winter. A lot of these fish may actually winter on this particular spot. Boy, that was a good one.
Boat control in bass fishing becomes extremely important the deeper you go. You have to understand it takes longer for the bait to get to the bottom, and the sheer size and volume of the water column is increased, and it can take longer for the fish to find your bait. Basically, there's a lot more water to fish the deeper you go. So knowing this, your boat control slows down considerably. We're not on the troll all the time like we were when we were shallow. We cherry pick high percentage spots looking for active biters until we hook up. After that, we'll tear the place apart with multiple casts from multiple angles dissecting the structure. So when it comes to boat control in deep water, less is more, allowing your baits to work longer in a larger volume of water.
There's one. There's another great big one. Look at that guy. Man, they're just tanks. Look at the size of these guys. That's what I mean. See, when you get on You put a number down like that. Look at that, every one of them, beautiful fish. Look at that, there's another great big one. Come here, buddy, look at that. You know, today we've only been on the water for a couple of hours now, and we actually found a pretty good school of fish, but it goes to show you what the key to finding fish is actually boat control. Today, they didn't seem like there was a lot of good fish in shallow water. We moved out to deep water in short order. We found a school of these guys. That's what it's all about. The essence of angling is experimentation, no question about it. Beautiful bass.
Big bass sometimes go deep or relate to subtle changes in weed or wood cover that are invisible to the eye. Discover how technological advancements exposed untapped bass hideouts in bass electronics, part of our Angling Edge instructional DVD collection available at anglingedge.com.
You know, it seems like every week I know somebody that's dealing with a major crisis of some sort. It may be an accident. It might be a bad report at the doctor. It might be a financial setback. I never remember it quite being this extensive on people that I know. How you respond to a bad report could have a major impact on you. There's a scripture in Proverbs 18:21 that says, life and death are in the power of the tongue. There's also another scripture that says, out of the heart the mouth speaketh. Now, some people, when they get a bad report, their first words are, God help me. Others say, God, well, you know the rest of the story. And your words have power. Think about that. Hey, from all of us at The Edge, you have a good, safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water.
Hey, I sure want to take an opportunity to thank all our sponsor partners for making this show possible. And if you like what you see, let them know and support them. For more information, check us out at anglingedge.com, Facebook, or the YouTube channel. Hey, thanks for watching.